here, and today I'm going to be taking you with me to a special wedding ceremony. This is not your regular wedding ceremony, trust me, it is OWAMBE with a difference, with some spice. So it was your regular Saturday morning now, and Mother Mary had dragged Jesus to follow her to this wedding. And my guy was like, okay, I'm just going to stay low key, sit down at the back, not drag too much attention to myself. And he was just there chilling, waiting for the wedding to end so that last, we got to go home. That's how why I finished. Why I finished though, everybody was waiting for wine had finished. And then Jesus saw Mary walking towards him. And his mind was like, okay, finally, maybe we'll soon go home. Mary came to meet him and was like, Jesus, wine has finished. And Jesus was like, Mom, this has nothing to do with me. My time has not come for this thing. I don't want to show off. So let me just be on my own. So Mary knew her son, like, forget all this new my guy, they thought my guy is capable of doing something. So she did not listen to him. She went to go and meet the servant. She would give them small exposure, like, see, anything he tells you to do it. Okay? They said okay. So wine had finished. People were waiting for wine. The bride and the bridegroom were confused where they would get wine from. And then the servants were looking to Jesus for instruction. My guy could not fold their hand. So he called the servants over and he was like, you see those 6 jars over there? They call them purification jars. So let me just take you guys back a little bit. In the Jewish custom, they have these jars that they use for purification. So it's for every wedding ceremony. It's either you wash your hands, easy to wash your hands, or they immerse the couple inside the drum. Sure, that's their culture, that's their custom, that's what they do for every wedding. So Jesus now told them, like, okay, go and fill those jars with water. The servants carried the jars. They went to fill it with water. And let me just give you some picture. Those days, there were no taps. And let me just say that they used a well, because the Israelites, they use wells a lot since the time of Abraham. So there was no tap. It's not like you just put the jar on that tap, just and water will be there. No, they took the drum to probably a well or a stream. They went to fetch 6, and Bible accounts that it held 20 to 30 gallons of water. So this was not a small drum. It was a big one. 6 of them. They carried it. They went to fill it, and it's well though. It's well. So how they fetch water from well? They dip. They'll bring it out, they'll not pour, they'll dip, they'll bring it out, they'll not pour. 6 different containers. They did it. They now took the jars back to Jesus. Oh yeah, excuse me, sir, we are finished doing what say we should. Jesus said, okay. He said, fetch out of it and take it to the master of the ceremony. That's the MC. The servants were like, hey, this guy, they use us play. But remember how Mary told them, whatever I tells you to do it. Say last, now Mary will go blue. So they fetched out the water, poured it in the cup, and took it to the MC. When the MC tasted the water, hey guys, it had turned to wine. Jesus is Lord. How it happened, I don't know. Because the MC was like, man,
oh my God.
Where did you keep this wine since? This wine is delicious. Normally people will serve their best wine first and serve the rubbish one last, but you have saved this best one for the last. I'm happy I got to taste it too. And the servants were looking at themselves like, is it not water that we gave this man, or is it holding sugar inside his mouth? They were confused. As in, even me if I was shocked, because they carried the water, put inside cup. They gave the man is tasting wine. Now, if you look at the story, one of the first things, I believe the very first thing you learn is obedience. These servants obeyed Jesus crazily. I'm sure they had never even seen him before. But Mary said, whatever he tells you to do it. And these people did it. Feel 6, obedient, guys. These jars, like I told you, in the Jewish custom, they were for purification. They are not jars that you used to drink water on a normal basis. So if they are looking for wine and it says fill these jars with water, it doesn't correlate. It don't make any sense, really. But they obeyed. Crazy obedience, guys. Now the second lesson, guys, when I read this, you know what I heard? Fill up. They had to fill up all six of the jars. And when I read the story, Holy Spirit said to me, you have to develop every area of your life before I'll present you to the world. So, and what I got from it is the water they filled that he turned into wine. He didn't ask them to take an empty cup to the MC. They had to pour something inside. Jesus needed something to work with. And I don't know if this is true, but probably he was testing their obedience because, like I said, it didn't make any sense. And filling those jars was not easy. Developing yourself is not beans. Like I said, there were no taps. They had to walk, probably walk some distance to a nearby well, dip their bowl inside, fetch and pour, fetch and pour, six times. And then they had to carry it back to Jesus. Like, it was not a small job. For something that they didn't even know how Jesus was going to turn into wine. They were not even sure what he was going to do with water. But they did it. Obedience. Now I want you to go to God, ask him, what areas of my life do you want me to develop? Now there are three main areas that you have to develop if you're really going to set yourself on the path to purpose. The first one is your spiritual life. You have to be consistent in your walk with God. It can't be a back and forth like I'm in today, I'm out tomorrow, guys. Like that's not it now. So you have to be consistent. Be real with him. I told you in the last session, he's your father. Be real with him. So spiritual life. His second one is academics slash work life. For those of you in school, develop your academics. If you can handle yourself well in your academics, then trust me, work life will be easy for you. For those of you who are working, develop yourself in your work life. Don't just do what you're told to do. Always go the extra mile, be that person. And then leadership. If God is going to set you, the Bible says this, you're a city set on a hill that cannot be hid. If he's going to set you upon a hill, there are going to be people following you whether you like it or not. So you have to develop your leadership skills. So these three areas you need to develop. Now after Jesus had them fill these jars with water, he told them to pour it out and take it to the master of the ceremony. Now he didn't say give a random person, let them taste and see if it's wine. Take it to the master of the ceremony. I want you guys to see something. See, it took confidence. First things first, like I said, they don't drink water from those purification jars. It's like I need wine and you're telling me to fetch water into a bathing bucket. It didn't really correlate, sir, but they did it anyways. Now some people are feeling unqualified, like I'm not, God is calling me to this thing, but I don't think I'm good enough. Moses said I'm not good at speaking. Jeremiah said I'm just a child. And God was like, I don't care. See, when God calls you to do something, he has empowered you with what it takes to do it. Jesus knew that that would be wine in the mouth of the person who tasted it. So he didn't care where it was coming from. I don't care how bad you think you are. If God says he's going to use you, he will use you. Period. And Jesus didn't ask them, like I said, he didn't tell them take it to a random person to taste. He didn't tell them themselves to drink the wine and see, to drink the water, and see if it has turned to wine. He said take it to the master immediately. No testing of wine. Just take it to the master as it is. See, if God is sending you to present yourself somewhere, if God is taking you, don't be ashamed. Don't sell yourself short. Don't feel like you're less than. Don't feel like you're not worth what God is putting into your hands. Says who? Says who? Please, you're more than enough. If God says, I'm taking you to the leadership board, my dear, sit with confidence. Sit like you know who sent you, because you know who sent you, the King of Kings. So you can't be less than more than. You're not even just enough, you're more than enough. And you can't be less than more than enough. Do you get what I'm saying? So be bold, guys. Be bold. Go out there. Do what he's sending you to do. Be bold. You know who sent you. Who wants to stop you? Who? They're not fit now. They're never rich. Who them be? So 3 things you learn from this story. 1, obedience. 2, develop. Number 3, don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Do what God wants you to do. I feel like this number 3 kind of aligns with the obedience. Everything aligns with the obedience actually. So the obedience factor is key. Then develop, then present yourself. Don't be afraid, don't be shy, be bold. I think I'll just call it that. Be bold. Thank you guys so much, so much for listening. Don't forget to stay tuned for more episodes. Thank you and God bless you. Bye.